Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Nathan and welcome back to the Snack Saloon. Now, a few videos back I did some Evangelion merch from 2004, and today we're going back even further to 1997. So just a couple of years after the anime first aired, and this is a Rei figure. Special, apparently. But this is part of a set, so the whole set is on here. There are different scenes. This is scene 1, so this is the first one in the set, but you can see there's different ones there. Let me zoom in so you can see that better. So basically Rei in different scenes. There's the Evangelion logo, and I should point out this is by SEGA. Some small print on the back if you want to look at that. Now this isn't rare by any means, so I don't feel bad about opening this. This costs roughly $40 on eBay. So if you want to, get your hands on this one in particular, like I said, it is part of a set. I'm curious to see how this is in the box. You can see it has these weird little tabs. That's interesting. It's like it's in 4 places. Is there a tie or anything in there? No, just tape. So let me try and get this out. Maybe I'll try and cut the box here. This is very weird. Oh, just noticed it has this on the bottom. Interesting. So let's just cut the box. There we go. And I guess we'll just cut the tape. Try not to damage the box, even though it's not mint by any means, but looks like she's already on the base as well. There we go. Yeah, I don't think she comes off of the base. Okay. Yeah, she's definitely screwed into that base. See the small print, 1997. Oh, this has a stickiness to it. It's that kind of old school. Ooh, that's weird. Almost like an old school, like a wrestling figure from the mid-90s, like 90s Hasbro, when they kind of softened down. Let's take a look at the figure itself. Now, it's hard to imagine this is, in a few years this will be 30 years old, so you got to take that into account when looking at this. Obviously, you can tell it's an old figure just by looking at it. And you can see she's got the eye patch, the bandage going around her head. They've even sculpted the hair, which is interesting. Kind of goes over the bandage. And obviously she has the casts on both arms. Even has a little bandage over her arm where obviously they've had an IV in her arm. Here's the back. And then the outfit's pretty good. There is some detailing on it. Obviously, like I said, you've got to consider the age. There's not going to be too much detail, but there's the feet. And it even has a little label on the stand. Like I said, this is scene 1. You can tell that's a sticker. But overall, I think when you, take into account the age of this figure, like I said, almost 30 years old at this point, it's not bad. It still holds up. And I think it's an interesting set to have all of these scenes. It'd be a nice display to have all of these scenes laid out. But just as a standalone figure, I think it's pretty good for the time. You've got to think this is going back mid to late 90s, when I guess you could say anime figures, were just kind of, I don't want to say mainstream because it wasn't mainstream at that stage, in my opinion. It was obviously in Japan it was much bigger, but they were just kind of, you know, they weren't really pumping these out. Definitely not as much as they are today. And it was more of like a novel, like specialty thing. But I think they did a good job. I particularly like the way the hair looks with the bandage, you know, going over the bandage, and it looks like it has sort of like a, you know, a pressure to it. The bandage is definitely wrapping the hair. And I think they did that really well. That stickiness seems to go the more I handle this, to be honest. It's more so on the arm, like here. It's very sticky. And it leaves like a residue on your hand. But the paint itself doesn't look bad. I mean, there's no like staining or anything that I can see. It looks pretty good. And you can even tell the difference, obviously, between the cast on the arm and the skin, and also against the, you know, the suit as well. But I think they did a pretty good job with this, considering the time. And like I said, the box was kind of strange how it was. They have the, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this better. Everything's kind of clipped together. It's kind of, there's no plastic in this. This was all open, like exposed. The figure was completely exposed, other than having that plastic bag around it. But there's nothing in these two. There's no windows on this. It's quite flimsy. But yeah, everything just kind of clipped together. Never seen a box like that, to be honest. And again, I'll just show you the full set. So you can see it would make quite a nice display, in my opinion. Having them all, you know, side by side in order of scene. But yeah, interesting, this is scene 1, but on this display, it looks more like scene 2, because this one is right there. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I think overall, decent figure. Like I said, take into consideration the time this came out. My only gripe about it is this weird stickiness, but I think that's just due to the age. And obviously, you know, using different materials back then, it's not the same as today. But I think as a vintage piece, it looks really nice. I'm not going to complain too much about it. But that's it for this video, guys. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, see ya.